Hello everyone and welcome back to the Common Sense Crypto channel. As with you always, this is Rich doing another video today on XRP. So I hope you're all having a wonderful day today wherever you are in this great world. We're gonna talk about XRP. And I gotta start with this. Bitwise CIO says most powerful people in finance own crypto. You know, the most powerful people in the world are going to start to emerge from the crypto space because a lot of people are going to become multimillionaires. Other people are going to become billionaires. Some people will even emerge out of crypto as trillionaires. That's what this space is going to create over time. And if you hold long enough, you can build generational wealth off of crypto. You know, once crypto runs up, once XRP really achieves high numbers, there's going to be ways for you to get passive income. And you're going to be able to build wealth upon your wealth and generate more wealth without selling your crypto. And that was always what I pictured happening once I started investing in crypto. But he's not wrong. The most powerful people in finance are allocating to crypto. We're starting to see big financial institutions get involved with crypto, billionaires getting more involved with crypto, because all of a sudden a shift is taking place. People no longer want the traditional financial system. They want what's new. They want this new digital financial system that's building out around us. And we're going to see a lot happen in this space just in a few short months. Look at all that's going to happen with Basel III, ISO, Ripple's new stablecoin. Beyond that, we're going to start to see the rise of CBDCs. AI is not slowing down. Technology is moving very fast. And as it continues to evolve and collide with blockchain, we're going to see a lot of these cryptocurrencies, these ISO cryptocurrencies, really start to show their full potential. And as that happens, let me tell you something. It is going to be a very exciting time to be a crypto investor. And you know, that's when reality is really going to hit a lot of people in this space. Right now, everybody's like, well, you're early, you're lucky. But once you start making real money here, all of a sudden you're going to start to realize, wow, my patience is really starting to pay off. Over 400 million XRP transferred in the past 24 hours. Now, this time we actually have an idea on where Ripple is sending all of this XRP. So according to the BitThump XRP-centered Explorer, this XRP chunk was sent to a major European exchange from a wallet that is affiliated with the Ripple blockchain juggernaut, likely as part of the platform's collaboration on the Ripple Payments International Money Transfer Project. I'm sure some of this XRP is also going to the BIS, going to the IMF. You know, Ripple is growing out behind the scenes as well. Sure, we get a lot of announcements. We see a lot of the growth that's happening. But just imagine all the growth that's still happening that we don't even know about yet. But at least we're starting to get an idea on what Ripple is doing with all that XRP. This comes from Mr. Man, breaking crypto at a critical mass. Now, the guy talking in this video is the vice president of Visa Global Public Policy, and he's sitting there with Eric Van Miltenberg from Ripple. Take a listen to what he says.
We've all been doing in the public sector or the fintech space and in some of the larger players in traditional finance. It seems like a lot is really coming together. So happy to be here. The good news is cross-border payments is like a topic on the agenda when important conversations are happening. So I have the privilege of serving on the Financial Stability Board's Legal, Regulatory, and Supervision Task Force for enhancing cross-border payments. And what's really interesting about that work is when the G20 kicked it off, the idea was like, wow, cross-border payments, remittances, very, very expensive, settlement very, very slow and liquidity intensive. What if we got a group of people from different kinds of financial institutions that sit at different layers in the finance stack globally, as well as policymakers, and tried to have some conversations about like where the frictions really are?
What Visa is trying to do is they're trying to make cross-border payments faster, cheaper, and more secure. And that's why Visa is coming together with Ripple, because they see how the RippleNet technology and XRP is such a game changer inside of cross-border payments. And we're going to see more talk like that as time goes on, because that's the path forward. Chairman Gensler's SEC Gov has been cutting backroom deals on SAB 121. It's not transparent, and it's in no way to regulate our capital markets. So first, Gary blames the idea of keeping the banks away from crypto on the crash of 2008, but he gets called out on it by Mike Flood. Take a listen.
I think it's actually the right accounting. Off-balance sheet accounting is also what, in part, got us into the 2008 crisis. So just remember, like, when people are trying to hide things and put them off balance sheet, it's not good. Also,
you talk about hiding things, Chairman Gensler. We don't even know what deals you're cutting on SAB 121 when you give a no objection letter to a different firm. Like, if we're going to talk about hiding things, let's talk about transparency. Let's talk about how do people in this country operate under our laws when your commission is doing backroom deals with one-off companies and writing them a no objection letter. That's not transparent. That's not in the interest of the American people. You can't follow rules that you don't know about. What's going on?
So what's actually going on is this. Gary's picking a handful of banks that can just avoid SAB 121 and start to custody crypto, while these smaller banks that are struggling are kept away from digital assets and crypto, and they're not allowed to, in other words, compete with the bigger banks. So all these little banks start to collapse out because they can't compete anymore. And that's what's really going on. And it starts at the SEC. And it's nice to see that he got called out on it. We know those backdoor deals are taking place as well. Democrats want to finish stablecoin bill this year. Like I said, they are fast-tracking this stablecoin bill. They want to get it put in place as quick as they can. You know why? Because then it opens the door here in the United States for a central bank digital currency. Because all a stablecoin is, all a CBDC is a stablecoin issued by the US government. And let's stay on the track with the stablecoins for a minute. Mika, crypto purge expected by the end of 2024. Exchanges like OKX have already started removing non-compliant stablecoins, such as Tether, as Mika regulations take hold across Europe. This is how regulators are enforcing compliance with the law. These new regulations are expected to trigger a widespread purge of crypto companies in Europe. Failure to comply will push coins like Tether out of major markets through delistings, threatening its business model and weakening its market dominance. So think about it like this. What's about to happen in crypto? Bitcoin's about to go and achieve another new all-time high. That's what everybody's expecting to happen. But what happens if Bitcoin starts to do a major run-up and at the same time the Tether crash happens? It's definitely going to bring down Bitcoin with it. And I'm not the one saying it. We knew this for years. Bingo, Tether is a government operation. The Bitcoin maxis called time on him. Now, you got to take a listen to this. This happened at Bitcoin 2024. And this guy is 100% on point.
I know that BlackRock invested $400 million in miners. They seem to be doubling down. There is this aspect where the civilian libertarian ideological war on Federal Reserve banks happens to coincide quite frequently with the global banking institutions like the World Bank and IMF, similar desire to end or restrict the national Federal Reserves when it results in their own profits. Well, I'm so glad you brought up the Tether situation because I mentioned I was a little surprised when I was asked to speak here because I just published a video called Bullish on Bullshit, which was a reason to invest in Bitcoin because there was a scam at the heart of it called Tether, which was supporting its liquidity and which was pumping up the Bitcoin price through the process that you just described.
So, Mike, they're not pumping the price of Bitcoin. They're pumping the price of the amount of liquidity that fiat needs to prevent the impairment of really bad just policies and zombie companies that need another breath of the fiat air, right, or the fiat liquidity.
What would happen to the price of Bitcoin if Tether died tomorrow?
Well, it would, in the short term, if liquidity dries up, Bitcoin gets punished. We've seen this over and over again. But they can't let that deflation rip through the economy or else everybody's living in tent city, right?
Hence bullish on bullshit. That's exactly right. They have to keep it going in order to prevent that collapse. And it's,
And that's exactly why you keep seeing a billion Tether being minted out of thin air. And everybody knows this is going on, but the Bitcoin maxis, they're too blind to see it. But once Mika makes Tether pretty much obsolete inside Europe, that's going to be the first wave. Then the stablecoin bill that's going to pass here in the United States is also going to crush Tether in the United States. And that's going to put another big price drop on Bitcoin as well. Then the rest of the world having the similar Mika-like regulations in place over the coming months soon after the US does it, all of a sudden Tether will just be gone. And the price of Bitcoin is going to plummet as that happens. Now, he said short term, it's not going to send Bitcoin to zero. However, the belief in Bitcoin is going to be gone. The idea that Bitcoin is going to bounce back really quick is going to end very fast because it's not going to bounce back quick, because the only thing propping it up at $60-some thousand is all that fake Tether that's actually sitting there in the price of Bitcoin. The collaboration between Swift and R3 aims to integrate Swift's GPI into R3's Corda platform, leveraging XRP as an intermediary for liquidity. The inclusion of XRP in this proof of concept signals its potential role in mainstream financial systems. Now, here's what I don't understand. You see this. You see how XRP is going to be utilized alongside inside of Swift. And you know that's going to push the price of XRP based on real value, real utility. Yet people still want to put their money into something like Bitcoin. I don't understand the idea of that, because it's right there in front of you what the future is. The future is Ripple and XRP and XLM and the rest of these ISO cryptocurrencies. Link to says, let's talk international transaction cost. Did you know that the average Swift payment can set you back $20 to $50 per transaction? In contrast, a Ripple transaction costs a fraction of a penny. Which do you think is the future of international payments? So even Link2 is telling you that Ripple and XRP is the future. You know, Swift is outdated. It needs a major upgrade just to stay competitive. But as more and more banks see how game-changing RippleNet and XRP is, they're also going to ditch Swift. We're going to watch Swift transition into RippleNet over time. James Wallace states that Ripple works with the Federal Reserve. Take a listen.
Others was like the rise of other CBDCs. So I do work in the US. We work with the Fed, and we work with the academic, a number of universities that also work with the Fed. And the geopolitical impact of CBDCs is one of the topics that we've been working on. And when China announced the digital yuan, that suddenly made the Fed, the US Fed, wake up and go, oh, hang on a minute. This is scary because the dollar is still the primary currency for global trade, reserve currency, and if the digital yuan becomes widely used outside of China, that could be a threat to the dollar.
And that's why the U.S. has no choice but to push into the digital age. And I like the fact that James Wallace points out that Ripple is already working with the Fed. And that's how you know that the Fed is going to be utilizing RippleNet and XRP, especially when it comes to real-time payments here in the United States. And that's why I invest in XRP. It's the same reason I invest in XLM and XDC, because this is the future. This is your one shot to get financial freedom. And if you continue to hold these cryptocurrencies long enough, you will get generational wealth. And all you got to do is nothing. Just sit there, stay patient, stay positive, and let's get rich together. With that said, I'm going to wrap up this video. I want to thank you all for watching. I appreciate all of you. I'll see you in the next one. Have a great night.